feel so young.
Oh, Bobby, you make me feel there are songs to be sung
And bells to be rung and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today. Oh, you make me feel like young.
Pretty little baby, you say that maybe you'll be thinking of me and try to love me. Pretty little baby, I'm hoping that you do. You can ask the flowers, I sit for hours telling all the bluebirds, the bill and coo birds. Pretty little baby, I'm so in love with you. You're gonna push the blues away.
It's the singing sensation of the nation, Connie Francis, who falls for a nearsighted purveyor of something called dialectic jazz.
You may rub rosin on my bow.
They come from everywhere, with every kind of an approach.
You just saved the life of T.V. Thompson, junior class, Michigan State.
You gotta give in one time. You gotta turn on the sunshine. Push those blues away.
Where the boys are, that's for me.
Somebody big just died. Pop icon Connie Francis is dead at 87 years old, and my friend Mike North is here to help deliver her eulogy. Mike, how are you, my friend?
Well, first, Yvette Mimieux was just a hottie. That's all I'm going to tell you. The blonde we just saw at the end. She was unbelievable. But Connie Francis, everybody knows in Chicago, I loved her. Back in 1992, I became obsessed with Connie Francis not being in the Rock Hall of Fame, if you will, and she's still not in. Okay?
That's crazy.
What an oversight. I have tweeted Tom Hanks, who produces the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for ABC. I have tweeted him numerous times and told him, hey, the woman sold over 100 million records. She sold 1 million records in 15 different languages. Okay?
That's wild.
Singles. She was number one in Germany, Japan, the United States, Britain. I'm talking all at one time, just like the Beatles were. But she was at number one in 1960 in like 20 countries. Okay?
Jeez.
And I used to get in debates with Terry Hemmert of WXRT and some of the other XRT people saying, oh, well, she was a pop singer. Well, wait a minute. Dolly Parton just got into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she actually said, I better make a rock and roll album now. It's become bastardized. But to not have a pioneer that Connie Francis was, and I talked to Connie twice on the phone. She lived in Florida. And she didn't let on a lot that she was upset she wasn't in the hall. I think it hurt her that she wasn't recognized more. A lot of it was due to bad intentions, if you will. Okay? But she was, if not for her, there might not be a Madonna in the movies. There might not be a Cher in the movies. She made it where a female singer, okay, got headlines by making 4, 5, 6 movies. I always wanted her in a movie with Elvis. I think in 60, 61, 62, Elvis Presley and Connie Francis would have been a natural. She was attached at the hip with Bobby Darin, and we'll bring him up a little later on because, as Joe knows, the reason, and I hope everybody enjoyed the Harry Tynewood stuff, make sure you check it out, that we do this show is because they leave stuff out of the news cycle. And Connie Francis is one that I'm sure Joe can tell you. They left out some stuff and some bad stuff.
They did.
That happened to her, okay? Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. She was born Concetta Rosa Maria Francanero, okay? I'll just say she was Italian.
It's a mouthful.
She's revered in the Italian-American community. That I'll tell you. Being half Italian myself, and I revered her as a talent. She was a movie star. She was on variety shows. She had her own show. She made records. So she was a triple threat, if you
Sure
will.
was.
She had a series of traumatic personal experiences and medical problems. And it just says it matter of factly here, starting with the victim of a knife point rape attack in 1974 at a Howard Johnson's back in the day.
In Westbury, New York.
Right. And she never really recovered. When I talked to her, everything was slow. She talked slowly. Yeah, Mike. Yes, sir. Yeah, I wish I was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Then she started, but in 1989, she came out and did her thing. Look at that. She ended up winning 2.5 million, but it really warped her career till 1989 when she came back. She had a breakthrough in 58, 59. He became an international star from 59 to 73. She was on fire. She made 3 #1 hits. She had Where the Boys Are, Vacation. She was outstanding. Now, this guy singing right here was a guy that if you didn't like Elvis, you might have liked Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin was Italian too, and we'll get to him in a minute. After her modest success, Francis became regularly performing, but while in town to appear at the Westbury Music Fair on November 8th, 1974, she was raped at knife point, beaten and tied to a chair at the Jericho
Jesus.
Howard Johnson's Lodge. She nearly suffocated under the weight of a heavy mattress the guy had thrown upon her. A 19-year-old guest at the hotel was arrested as a suspect. She subsequently sued the motel chain, ending up reportedly with a $2.5 million settlement. Okay.
And 76, that's a lot of money, Mike.
Yeah, it was. And you said that she just had something go viral, Joe, that I was unaware of, and I was very happy to find out.
Sure. Yeah, Pretty Little Baby, her song, which was in the open. It's the second song in the open. Had a huge resurgence as of lately, and it's great that she lived to see it.
Yes, I heard that she was absolutely ecstatic about the fact that she was back, and she reached out to all her fans.
Yeah, on TikTok, I mean, millions and millions and millions of videos using that audio from that song. There's a new vocal challenge where people sing the song and do vocal runs on it. People use it as a funny video in the background. It's so ironic to me, Mike, that she passed away during the middle of the resurgence of her song, but also kind of fitting that she found a lot of peace in that, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was married to Dick Canellis from 1964 until 1964. Then she married Izzy Marion in 1971 and divorced in 1971. Okay?
Nobody could be Bobby Darin.
No. Married in 1973 to Joe Garzilli and divorced 7 years later in 1980. And then Bob Parkinson's 85 to 85. So she was married to 3 guys and she got divorced in the same year that she got married in.
That's
so
nuts.
You know that's rough. That's some rough stuff. But Bobby Darin is the one. Bobby Darin and her wanted to be married. And the father, father was a control freak. Her father showed up to the studio with a handgun, and they threatened to kill Bobby Darin.
Bobby Darin had to escape out the window.
Yeah, they basically broke that whole thing up, which set her back even more. And then she had the tragedy of the rape situation. She did make money for it, but it was just absolutely brutal what happened to her. Okay, and it stalled her, and she's been recognized by the Italian American community, but she is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I've made that an issue forever. I would even think now that the XRT people I talked to probably deserve. Now, there's where she was older and very elegant. She came out more in gowns at that time, if you will. That was on Larry King. I saw her when she was on the Larry King show. There she was there, a beautiful woman, absolutely beautiful woman, nice lady. But it was just a terrible thing, and she couldn't lose it. Between Bobby Darin and being raped at knife point, those were the two events that really stalled her career. But she was just outstanding. I always thought that, I mean, she was seeing psychiatrists and everything else, and she just dropped
That's so
out of
rough.
sight forever. So that's from last night. That was our buddy Harry. Yeah, there she is right there when she was getting it done. And her and Darren were very, very close. And that Bobby Darin ended up dying in the 60s of having a weak
Heart
heart, if you
condition.
will. Jim Hutton was a guy that was a frequent co-star with her also. Francis retired in 2018 and lived in Florida. And in May 2025, her 1962 song, Pretty Little Baby, went viral on TikTok, becoming a sleeper hit, which, when reached for comment, Francis said she had forgotten about the song, but was pleased that her music and the innocence it sought to represent was being embraced by a younger audience. With the song's rise in popularity, Francis joined TikTok and had plans to appear on Gus and Brucey's radio show, but she was unable to do so because of failing health. I can tell you this: she was hoping to get into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm hoping she'll get in now. That unfortunately she's passed on. That won't be the first time. I don't care if you're talking about some sports Hall of Fame or what have you. She's one of those people that like Buck O'Neill got in after Pete Rose got in after he died. I
She's a
just think that,
trailblazer, Mike. I mean,
yeah,
she one it's posthumously, and two, she's got a song that's blowing
that's
up
out now.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what's going to bring it back. Her films, Rock, 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 Jamboree, The Sheriff of Fractured Jaw, Where the Boys Are was a huge hit. Follow the Boys was a huge hit. That was a sequel. When the Boys Meet the Girls, she made some silly movies, if you will.
I was watching those trailers, Mike, putting this together. I'm like, man, some of these are just like ridiculously silly movies.
Yeah. Her relationship with Bobby Darin, the up-and-coming singer and songwriter. Darin's arranged for him to help write several songs for her. Despite some disagreement about material, after several weeks, Darin and Francis developed a romantic relationships. When Frank and Earl learned that Darin had suggested the two elope after one of her shows, he ran Darin out of the building at gunpoint. Francis saw Darin only twice more. Once when the two were scheduled to sing together for a television show, and another when she was spotlighted on TV series This Is Your Life. So that wasn't good. The old man stepped in and just kiboshed that whole thing because he didn't like her. She got married numerous times. Francis and singer Gloria Estefan completed a screenplay for a film based on her life, which I told Joe before we even did this. It should be a movie, her life.
Really, really should be.
Titled Who's Sorry Now? And she's going to produce and play it. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And Dolly Parton had been contacting her, trying to produce her life story also. So I don't know what went on with that, but she definitely deserves to be in. So to the Italian American community, what?
100% agrees. She deserves
come
to
on.
be in. I mean, look at what she did with her career. It's unbelievable.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, she'll be missed. She definitely will. She was a lovely, lovely woman, and she made her mark. And she was somebody huge. She's somebody big that died. Been a big fan of hers for a long time. Connie Francis. God bless her and her family.
And Mike, before we wrap, I realize we got to hit our sponsors.
Yeah, why am I forgetting to do that? They're going to stop carrying me pretty soon. Yeah, Cumberland Chapels. Let me tell you something. 8300 West Lawrence Avenue. In beautiful Norwich, Illinois. Anthony Lupo, Peter Martino, the families, serving families with dignity and grace forever. Let me tell you something. It's got 4 or 5 chapels, beautiful vestibule, great parking. There's the great testimonials that they give for all the people here. God bless them. We've all been there. We've all seen somebody there at that place. It's been there for decades. As you can see, there's parking on the left, parking on the right, parking behind the building, and parking across the street. Cumberland Chapels, 8300 West Lawrence Avenue in Norwich, and Pennyville Station. Beautiful, 112 Main Street. They got the best prime burgers. I had a half pounder there not long ago. Great fries, prime rib, mahi mahi, lobster rolls,
Ooh.
fillets, miniature fillets, great drinks, great place, right across the street from the railway station. Outdoor dining right now. If it's not raining, it's been raining lately. There's Jesse Rogers and me and Tony Antonacci. Stop by Pennyville Station. And without them, we couldn't do this show, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you that
That's
right
the
now.
truth.
And Joe and I appreciate it very much, and we appreciate you listening. And to Connie Francis's family, condolences. She was an icon. She was something. She definitely was. Good night.